did y'all see that last week, Sandra Bland, who was a 28-year-old, she was driving from Chicago to Prairie View, Texas for a new job she had been offered, and she was pulled over because she did not signal.
When she changed lanes?
Yes. I thought it was a turn.
I think she was changing lanes.
Oh, okay. So she didn't signal, and a police officer pulled her over for failing to signal, and one thing led to another, but like 3 days later on Monday, she's dead. So the police officer, the video was recently released of the traffic stop, and she's smoking a cigarette, and the thing starts off really pleasant, and she's smoking a cigarette, and he tells her to put the cigarette out, and she's like, I don't have to put the cigarette out. I know my rights. I don't have to do that. And that's when it just kind of like flashed for him. He got really irritated that she wasn't complying with this request, even though legally she does not have to. She told him, like, I know the law. I know all I have to do is identify myself to you, which I've done. I don't have to put the cigarette out. Write me the ticket, and I can be on my way. He made her get out of the car. He said he was going to light her up. All this stuff happened, and then on Monday, she was found dead in her jail cell. And they said that it was a suicide by asphyxiation. It's like she took a trash bag and hung herself or something like that. And, it's just so interesting because everyone who knew her said that was not, in her nature. She never had problems with, like, as far as they knew, like a depression or any type of suicidal thoughts or anything like that. And what I find particularly interesting is that she told her mother that she was going down to Texas to live out her purpose of, like, ending racism in the South. So she was, she was one of those people who was about fighting injustices in this country. And for someone like her to end up in prison dead in jail dead is just, on the day she was supposed to get out, is just, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, this, first of all, we all know she should have never been arrested to begin with. Failing to change signal when you're changing lanes, they let you go for that.
That's just stupid to be pulled over for that.
Right. So, I mean, that's a completely different situation within itself, but the fact that this woman turned up dead and they're talking about suicide, it's obvious that Waller County is covering up a murder. I mean, anybody can look at this situation and see that it's some funny stuff going on. It was something that came out today that the district attorney texted the attorney representing Sandra's family, talking about they want to do another autopsy because the other one, it was ineffective or something happened, or like, what? Y'all need to do another autopsy? Why? Because we're doing a second autopsy and we're going to find out that y'all was covering stuff up?
That's right.
It's just a really unfortunate situation, and it just seems like this country is like waging war on Black people, and it seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse. And I said this yesterday, I feel like we're really close to a breaking point, like something is about to change. And I don't want to be all deep, but when Sandra said she was going to Texas to end racism, I don't know, maybe it was prophetic. Maybe it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that she died. But like Martin Luther King said that he was going to do whatever, and some of those things didn't happen until after he died. So perhaps her death won't be in vain, and perhaps this will bring change.
Yeah, I mean, who would imagine that you would, even if you just get apprehended and you have to sit in jail for the weekend, which is terrible. But I mean, who would imagine that you would end up dead a couple days later? Like, you're calling people. Like, I've heard her phone call with one of her people talking about, like, changing lanes. Like, who knew they would be like, I'm in jail for changing lanes. She don't sound like someone who's super depressed and erratic. She just sounds like somebody who's confused and pissed off. And so to me, I don't know everything, up top to bottom about this case, but I don't buy it. I don't buy that she killed herself with a trash bag in her cell the day she was supposed to get out and post bond. So boo to that. But I think my thought when I think about this whole thing is about my issue with police officers. When you even watch the video, it's like they really and truly think that they're like a different breed of human being when they have their uniform on and they have their badge and they have their gun. They just feel like all of a sudden you have to show them some kind of greater level of respect or greater. I'm showing you respect.
Only if you're Black, though.
Right. But it's like you expect me to then be like you said, like, yes, boss. Yes, sir. Whatever you say, sir. Like, I don't have to put my cigarette out.
That's right.
Are you giving me a ticket for me switching lanes, which is random as hell, or not? Are you going to, or are you not? And they act like when you talk back or when you ask a question or when you say whatever your rights are, that you're being, whatever, combative. Right, you're being defiant and that you're being insubordinate and I'm going to, throw you in jail. I'm going to pull you out the car and find an excuse and a reason to put a charge of some sort on you, resisting arrest or some shit like that. And that just makes me so sick because I'm like, at the end of the day, when you take off your badge, when you take off your uniform, you just a regular ass any old body on the street. And if I had something I needed to say to you on the street, it wouldn't be illegal, it wouldn't be a problem, it wouldn't be nothing worth me getting arrested for. So why, when you have on your shit, all of a sudden you're a whole new person, somebody got to show you the utmost respect, and you can just throw me down for any old kind of thing. I can't stand that. Police aren't what they've always been a little screwed up. Yeah. But this ain't a new dawn and a new day. Like, mugs they're still doing shady stuff. So I believe somebody killed her, and I ain't buying shit. So there it is. Whoop,
I mean, just even the way the information has come out is just sketch. Like the fact that you release a 52-minute video and it's all chopped and screwed. Like, no, if y'all want to be transparent and real about this, then show the whole video for what it really is. But you want to, and then I saw a news report, I was telling you this morning, I saw a news report where camera crews were in her cell, walking around touching different things. I'm like, this is still under investigation. Why are you allowed to be walking through this place where someone died?
The murderer walking up through there too.
Girl, it's just sickening, and the things that they ask us to believe are ridiculous. Like, no one in their right mind is gonna believe. Like we talked about earlier, remember we talked when the story first came out, like if she was suicidal, she drove from Illinois to Texas. Y'all know how long of a drive that is? If she wanted to do that, she could have done that anytime along that route. She gonna make it to Texas where she has a new job waiting for her to take her life? Please. And you know what somebody else said? Somebody was like, even if she took her life, and the other girl, Kendra Chapman, who they said she killed herself too in Alabama, even if these women took their lives, it's like, what led them to this point? If these are healthy women who had no history of mental illness, what led them to this point where they have to feel like they need to take their life in a jail cell? You know what? It's just too much.
Why are they arrested in the first place?
Right, exactly. You shouldn't have been in jail in the first place.
Anyway.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's just a power trip.
It's a power trip. You were mad, and that's what irritates me. It's like white people expect you to be. I heard one commentator said that she was arrogant. I'm like,
because she knows her rights.
Because she knows her rights, and she was speaking up for herself. But that's the thing.
She was articulate.
That's the thing. It's like black people, black women can't speak up for themselves without being perceived as a problem. And so he wanted to light her up. He said it. Light me up for what?
And pulled out that damn taser.
Light me up for what, sir?
But I just think it also just comes to white privilege. Like white people, everyday white people feel like they could just talk to people of color any which way. You know what I mean? Like I was in the same week that 3 Muslim people died in their apartment complex because their white neighbor thought they were too loud. Someone in Trader Joe's, I was talking about Scandal with my best friend on the phone, and he thought I was being too loud. And I was like, but we're on a line with over 100 people. I was like, you don't want this today. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, you see all these people around you on their phone talking, but you want to turn around to the black girl in the back of you and tell her to be quiet and to speak into my microphone. No, I will not. You will listen to my conversation about Scandal and Empire. That's what you will do.
And in 5 minutes.
And you will move on and be encouraged.
Right.
Exactly.
So kiss my ass.
I was like, you don't see all your other, you don't see your white brothers and sisters talking around this phone? But you want to talk to me? I was like, you don't want this, sir. You know, and it's like, he felt so audacious to talk to me, and that's the problem with them.
Every day.
They feel like they could just push you on the sub, but they feel like they could do anything because it's like you're not gonna pop off. Because if you pop off, then you're angry, blatantly violent, and you're gonna hurt me.
Like, I feel like I have power over you as a black person. I have power over your black body. So don't say nothing out your black mouth for me to have to check you. You know?
For me to have to check your black behind.
Right. It's just too much.
Especially the police. Like, man, you ain't nobody. That uniform and let me catch you in the streets. You ain't nobody. Like, you're just an ordinary ass person who was given a nice little uniform to put on and thought that you were now the ruler of the world. And you can, and because I defend myself and I tell you I know my rights, you get to tell me to get out the car and I'll light you up. You light me up. Man, light your own ass up. Like, what is that? Come on, man. This world is so jacked up. People think they slick. Man, please. You can't even say I know my rights without somebody trying to pull you out the car. For what? Let me go on. She said, I just drove to this motherfucker, like, for real. So and you already give me trouble. Welcome to the South.
So what do you think about the Sandra Bland case and the investigation? Is the police department being shady? Was she well within her rights to say what she said during the arrest? Keep the conversation going in the comment section below.